5 things I recommend all of us do to help get smarter about how advertising works in a cross-platform environment. Number 1, invest in multiple platforms, right? You get yourself even from 1 to 2, a 19% increase. Get all the way up to 5, 35% increase in ROI. Number 2, spend smart by adding back traditional TV to your mix. That's when you're going to maximize that kicker effect of digital. Number 3, spend smart to reach the right generation, and particularly millennials. 70% of media that millennials consumed is traditional TV. Don't ignore it. Again, I'm talking on average, but it's not that much different from boomers. It's only about 10 points less. Number 4, you can maximize the return on your digital ad investment by optimizing the frequency for any one consumer. Finally, create a unified creative strategy, because if you say the same message, optimized for the medium, but if you say a message in a consistent fashion, the consumer is going to recognize it, they will digest it, and they're more likely to take action on it, the action that you want.
Great learnings that Chris laid out, and there's some overlays and extensions to that that we'll call out from a CPG perspective. Critical to leverage both TV and digital from a CPG perspective, same as kind of what Chris pointed out. Digital will definitely help drive some synergy, and there's some opportunities to enhance traditional with the help of digital as well. Leverage both. Then from an equity building perspective, we looked at the benefits of combining a call to action campaign with an equity building campaign versus kind of leveraging constantly your call to action, right? Because you're not reinforcing the brand values, and in the short term, it may end up having a lower ROI than your call to action, but it's also sustaining your brand in the long run. So especially when you're evaluating an equity building campaign, don't just use the short-term ROI as the metric for that. Recognize that it has a higher long-term impact than the call to action. Then from a digital amplification perspective, digital does amplify traditional, leverage that. And then from a combination or how social comes into play there. Social is a great opportunity. Currently it's working. CPG brands are using it to drive acquisition. We have Facebook. We've consistently measured a few different social platforms within our marketing mixes, and we see that is driving an impact. And when we look at the panel data and the frequent shopper data in terms of measuring its impact for acquisition versus retention, we see that actually it's heavily oriented towards driving acquisition for the brand, not used enough for retention. The post-purchase advocacy is important as well in kind of an interactive environment. Leverage it to drive both. And then finally, helping improve your trade effectiveness. Media, aligning media with trade can also drive efficiency up on a sizable portion of investment. You're typically looking at trade share of total spending at about 60 to 70% on average. And if you can improve efficiency on that by 10% even, you're talking about massive amounts of efficiency gains.